Good morning, everyone. It is Wednesday, May 31st, and thank you for joining us on Up to the Minute. I'm Andrea Bonner, Chair of Consumer Arts and Sciences, COE, and I'm filling in for Todd Duplantis today. I'm here with Dr. Natalie Garza, HCC History Professor, who's going to share how to find us. Dr. Garza?
Good morning, Andrea. We are live on the Houston Community College District Facebook page, not HCC, and we're on YouTube. We're also on Twitter, LinkedIn, and on HCCTV at noon, 5, and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday.
Awesome. So today for Small Business Wednesday, we'll feature a graduate of two of our entrepreneurial programs. First, Mr. Juan Islas, who is the founder and the CEO of Ev1Pro, Ev1Pro Signs, and he is a graduate of an HCC business plan competition and the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. But first, for the last day of AAPI month, we are super excited to host a special professional group. Jodie Nash is the Vice President for the Filipino Young Professionals of Houston. Welcome to the show, Jodie.
Hi, Andrea. Good morning. Nice to meet everybody.
Good morning. Well, let's begin with an explanation of the group that you're a part of. We're all about AAPI here at HCC. We're actually having an event today at HCC Central Campus, but we're even more excited about the scholarships for students. So I understand that your group offers some of those. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yes, absolutely. So we are a proud 501c3 nonprofit here in Houston, Texas. The Filipino Young Professionals aims to support students, whether they are graduating from high school or continuing their education. And so our goal is every year we give out right around $6,000 worth of scholarships. And so we're looking forward to having many of the students apply. The big asks is that there is an essay requirement and also 12 hours worth of volunteer hours. And we ask that 2 of those hours be served with the Filipino Young Professionals. Our biggest volunteer opportunity is the Houston Filipino Street Festival, which happens in October, where we bring lots of events and performers and vendors to the Houston community to celebrate Filipino culture.
Well, I was going to ask you a little bit more about that in the next question. So maybe you want to talk a little bit more about that. Is it the dragon boat races? That's when they're held for that festival. Tell us a little bit more about the dragon boat races.
Right. Yeah. So the dragon boat races is one of the core parts of the Filipino Young Professionals. These are our more athletic folks who want to go out and represent the Filipino Young Professionals. And we have a dragon boat team that competes all across Texas, and we even had our last competition in Oklahoma. So there's a lot of travel opportunities for the Dragon Boat team. We have practices every Saturday. And so if you're interested in participating, Dragon Boat can be pretty tough. I've tried it a couple times and it definitely works out your abs and your back. So I would recommend it to anyone who's looking for a fun opportunity to meet people and to also just be active with the Houston group.
That sounds amazing. I may try to come out myself and participate.
You're ready to break a sweat.
Yeah, I would love to. So who are the island warriors and the cultural ambassadors? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Right. So Filipino identity, I think from just my own interpretation of it, can be really complex. There's lots of different ways to represent Filipino culture, and that's what these two groups aim to address. So Island Warriors is a really great opportunity to experience Filipino culture in a really active way. And then for the cultural ambassadors, they represent Filipino culture in a really artistic way. And so these cultural ambassadors perform dances, including the tinikling, which is a really great traditional Filipino dance. They've performed at different Asian American events and even had an opportunity to perform downtown at the Discovery Green AAPI month event. So if you're interested in trying out the tinikling, it's a dance that is performed between 2 bamboo sticks and has a lot of coordination. But if you'd like to try it, they do have practices on Tuesdays and Saturdays.
It sounds like all of your activities require that you be very in shape and and have a lot of acumen. So I maybe I'll reconsider coming out and participating. So, but
we
it
do
sounds
have a little bit of everything for everyone.
Well, I love it. It sounds very interesting. So what kind of community outreach? One thing that I love about these organizations is the community aspect of what you do. So tell me a little bit about the community outreach that you do, and are your social and networking socials and networking, is that included in that?
Yeah, definitely. So our community outreach director, her name is Joanne. She aims at providing the volunteer opportunities for the scholarship applicants who can serve their 2 hours with us. And so our last event was at the Japanese Garden in Herman Park, where we did a little bit of cleanup by the lake. We also have a back to school opportunity where we fundraise some of the school supplies for students in the Houston area. We've built backpacks before. We've also partnered with the Houston Food Bank to try and just add a little bit of extra time for the community. And lastly, in December, we have Adopt a Family, where we sponsor the Christmas gifts for 2 families. So community outreach, if volunteering is in your heart, there are a lot of opportunities to work with the Filipino young professionals. And while you can socialize at these events, we do have separate membership events. We actually have one next Friday at Kirby Ice House in Memorial. So if you'd like an opportunity to meet the Filipino young professionals, we'll meet you there.
Well, I may crash. They may say, I don't know if you're Filipino or not, but I'll say Jodie told me that I could come. And I think, as with all of the organizations in Houston, because we're so diverse, like if someone else shows up, we're always so welcoming of everyone and all of our communities. So that's what I love about, your organization and all the organizations in Houston. So that's really good. You mentioned a little bit about membership. So can you tell us a little bit more about membership? Like if someone's interested in joining, is there like an age requirement or anything that you can tell us that might interest people in joining your organization?
Sure thing. So we welcome any person that lives in the greater Houston area to join our community. You don't have to be Filipino to be an FYP member. You can just appreciate and want to support Filipino culture. There also is no age requirement. While some of our social events may be 21 and up, like the one next Friday, we do welcome any person, even people with kids. We have our junior memberships that are only $5, and it still comes with a free t-shirt. But some of the benefits that come with being a part of the Filipino Young Professionals are those community outreach events that we just spoke about, the social events, the activities that you can be a part of. So we welcome anyone and everyone that would like to celebrate Filipino culture with us. I think the best opportunity to really see what we're capable of is the Houston Filipino Street Festival happening this October. That event last year brought around 6,000 attendees. And we were able to have some people even visit in from outside of the greater Houston area. So if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about us, we encourage you to check us out at fyphouston.com.
That's amazing. Did you say, and you may have already mentioned this, where's the street festival going to be held in the fall?
I don't know if I did. So that's a great question. It's actually October 21st at Constellation Field in Sugar Land, where the Space Cowboys play, a minor league baseball team.
Yes, I know where that is. I live in Missouri City, so I can get there easily. So again, I will be crashing that. It sounds like so much fun. Is there anything else that you'd like to share about your organization or just, anything in general before we get ready to close out the segment in a second?
Yeah, sure. Just to reiterate, if you have any questions about Filipino Young Professionals of Houston, I would love to get in contact with anyone. My email address is vicepresident@fyphouston.com. And if any of those volunteer, social, or fitness activities, like the cultural ambassadors or island warriors, if that sounds interesting to you, feel free to reach out to me, and then we can get you in contact with the scholarship application as well. The application will be released tomorrow. So definitely check out our website so then that way you can apply.
Awesome. And we have quite a few students, I think, in the programs that, are under my purview at HCC that might be interested. So I would love to share that information with them. We're always telling students, there's tons of money out there. Just go out there, write a quick essay, and hopefully, you'll get approved for it. So thank you so much. So Jodie, it's been great talking to you today and hearing about your organization. Jodie, again, is the Vice President for the Filipino Young Professionals of Houston, and we'll have all of your information in the post after the show. Jodie, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a great day.
You have a great day as well. Dr. Garza?
Hi. My son's class or his school just had their international festival not too long ago, and they had Filipino parents doing the bamboo dance that she was talking about. So it is fun. It's really fun to participate.
Awesome.
So we are moving on to Juan Islas, founder and CEO of Ev1Pro and Ev1Pro Signs. And he is also a graduate of HCC's business plan competition, and it's Goldman Sachs 10,000 small businesses. Welcome to the show, Juan.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So we'll get into your background in a bit, but first, can you give us a brief description about your two businesses?
Well, I have Ev1Pro, which is mainly the studio side of the business. We do photography, video, graphic design, some web development. And we pretty much create images to convey or bring the message that our clients want. And the other one is Ev1Pro Signs. And we do all kind of custom graphic design, printing signs, vehicle wraps, and different kind of signs installations in the Houston area.
And can you tell us a little bit about your background and how you came into becoming an entrepreneur?
Well, I started actually taking photos when I was like 14 years old. I got my first camera, and I just really fell in love with photography. I only had the idea of becoming a photographer, but I didn't really know what that really meant. I just kept taking photos. I came here to the United States when I was 22 years old, and I started doing different jobs. But I always kept taking photos of anything and everything that I like: people, flowers, buildings, nature, anything. So I always, kept working on my photography. And at one point, I decided to quit a really nice job that I've had and pursue my career, my passion, if you will, without even knowing what that meant as far as business goes. I just wanted to be a photographer.
That's great when you get to be able to make your passion and the thing that you love become the thing you do as a career. How did you see that shift happening where you started to make that into a business?
It was gradual. When I quit, I didn't actually have any clients at all. So it was a little scary to start. And, once I start getting, one person and then the other, and then somebody else called me. So, it's been actually a really interesting ride, if you will, having to work on the business side of it when the client actually requests something that is not necessarily something that you might not be familiar with or you might not necessarily like, but you have to deliver the results. So it's sometimes it's a little challenging, but it's been really, really interesting and extremely rewarding for me.
And I understand you used to photograph a lot of weddings and quinceañeras. Is that right?
I just started with that. I started with everything and anything. Whoever, you ask me to take your dog's photo, okay, I take it, anything. As long as, I could really, make some money. But then, after a while, I decided to start looking more into the business side of it. So I started doing more commercial and more corporate jobs. And this is pretty much what I focus on right now on the business side of it.
And do you still photograph weddings and quinceañeras, or have you moved beyond that to?
No, I do. I mean, if they hire me, if they want to pay me for it, I'll be more than happy to do it. I actually enjoy, doing that. Photography is my passion. So honestly, whatever I need to, or I can take photos of, I'm okay. So if it's still a quinceañera or a wedding, as long as we actually understand that, the client understand my style, the way I work, then we'll be okay.
I heard that you've photographed Texans football games live on the field as well.
Yeah, that was pretty much a dream come true. I remember being 14, 16 years old, looking at the Sports Illustrated magazines and looking at the photos that these photographers take. And I was like, wow, how do they do that? And then, one day stepping into the field, I almost cried the first time that I got into the field because it was so, wow. It's just awesome being in the middle of the field with all these great players and watching the sport like that and hearing all the fans and knowing that you're taking or you're doing what you love and you're being paid for it and you're there. It's amazing.
And I bet photographing sports is way different. The action involved in sports photography is way different than family photos or something like that.
Yeah, and at the same time, it has some similarities because if you miss the moment, you miss the moment, and that's it. The moment is gone. So you have to be ready, and especially on weddings and quinceañeras. Sometimes, there's special moments that if you don't get it, that's it, it's gone. You might want to repeat it, but it's not the same. And sports is the same. You look, and if you miss the moment is gone. So that's where the pressure is on, and I always feel nervous after all these many years of working and doing events. Every time I go to an event, I'm still on my toes because I'm like, let's just hope that I don't miss something,
Mm-hmm. So how did you shift from photography? Well, I know you still do photography, but how did that lead you into your signage business?
The person that actually bought the business from, I used to be his client for many years because I used to buy signs from him for my clients. I do photography and graphic design, so I did the photography, the graphic design, and I went to this guy to buy banners or posters. And one day he decided to retire. So I'm like, well, let's talk about it. And I thought it was something that it really went hand in hand with my business. So I decided to buy it. And no, it's not. It doesn't really go hand in hand with it. It's a complete different business. It's a complete different thing. And it's been really a learning process. It's been rough, but it's also, amazing. I'm grateful.
So you talked about learning through your business Ev1Pro. How did the HCC New Spring Business Plan competition help you along?
It has helped me quite a bit. At the moment, maybe I was not able to put all my heart and my mind into it when I took the program. But the program is amazing. It helps you to understand the concept of business, of doing business, even when it's your passion. Your passion is one thing, but doing business is another. So you have to understand, the actual process of business, and the business competition really helped me quite a bit understanding many things, even when I couldn't really put my mind on it, because at the time it was only a couple of months that I got the sign business, and I was losing my mind at the time. I was starting running two businesses, and it was a bit much for me. But it helped me understand a lot of the business process that I'm able to implement in my business.
And in 2022, you also graduated from HCC Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, cohort 33. It's we are the best. No, just kidding. It was the next step for me. I mean, because again, I understand that the business competition was awesome, but this Goldman Sachs program is actually even a more extended way of learning about your business. So when I took it, I was really impressed, and I was, it blew my mind. I was a little more at ease, if you will. I was still really stressed and everything, and it's still stressful every day with the business. But sometimes you gotta, when you understand exactly what, most of what you're doing, you feel less stressed and more able to make decisions and to look at your numbers and to think what you need to do for your business. So yeah, these two programs have helped me a lot on the process to keep my business open and growing.
Well, thank you, Juan Islas, founder and CEO of Ev1Pro and Ev1Pro Signs, and graduate of HCC's Business Plan Competition and its Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses. We'll have all of your info in our post after the show.
Thank you very much.
All right. I think next we are going to talk about all of the amazing things that we have coming up at HCC, some news, events, and announcements. So we'll start first with the Ableton Live Summer Workshop with Dave Sharma. Here we're going to learn how to use Ableton Live music recording software this summer. It's going to be only $99 for 2 sessions, and you will learn how to use the application for making beats, audio recordings, and in state-of-the-art music studio. In a state-of-the-art music studio. That sounds amazing. It's going to be noon to 4 p.m. Saturdays, June 3rd and the 10th at the HCC North Forest campus. So check our post after the show for registration info. Dr. Garza, what's next?
Yeah, and we have the IT Summer STEM Camps. There's several sessions available. This is HCC's digital and IT COE is inviting middle and high school students to take part in these summer camps. This is great opportunity. I have children this age, so these are great opportunities for kids who are just leaving. They're able to explore Apple Swift coding, cybersecurity, drone building and flying, and VR technology. The week-long camps aim to offer underserved communities the latest technologies to high-impact tech careers. And the camps are free, and they also include lunch. The first session is taking place June 6th through 12th, and it's on drones and cybersecurity at HCC North Forest campus. So check our post after the show for registration info.
That's amazing. I'll definitely share that with people that I know. We also have the Instagram One College exhibition. Instagram is serving as the gallery's walls for an exhibition that features studio classes from all colleges in the HCC system. There's a viewing link available now through August the 14th. And again, it is free. Instagram/HCC Visual Arts Center, and it's at HCC_visual_arts. For information, again, we'll have an email in our post after the show for anyone who's interested in signing up.
We also have virtual info sessions. So this is for all future Eagles. Those of you starting your higher education journey, we know that it can be intimidating. So HCC is here to help with virtual information sessions twice a month to get you registered for summer and fall classes. HCC admissions advisors will help students apply, secure eligible financial aid, and decide on education and career pathways. And they will also help connect students with support services. So check our post after the show for details.
Awesome. And how did I get to announce this when PEP deadlines are this week? Of course, I know because that's what I was working on before and we'll be working on afterwards. So June 1st is the deadline for full-time faculty and staff, or June 30th, depending on your length of employment. So for details, visit My HCC's page or contact your senior partner for talent relations. And that's also going to be listed in the post after our show.
And communications in service Friday. No up to the minute. The HCCTV staff will attend a mandatory communications department in service meeting this Friday, so there will not be an up to the minute that day. That's this Friday, June 2nd. We will return to air Monday, June 8th.
Awesome. And then fall registration is open, everyone. It's already started, but you can register for summer also. So hurry if you want to secure your course, a particular professor, a location. All classes are offered in person and online. We've got several ways that you can attend: online anytime, on a schedule, hybrid, in person, hybrid lab. All of that information again about our program, start dates and options, and how to cover those costs. You can find that out at hccs.edu/apply. So Dr. Garza, do you want to close us out?
So coming up for Thursday, Family Fun Day, our own co-host Montrose Cunningham will welcome HCC's April Hall. Both of them take part in the West Chase Challenge and will tell us all about it. And again, we want to remind you that Up to the Minute won't air on Friday, but we'll be back next week for Mental Health Monday and all of your favorite program segments.
Awesome. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. We look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you, Dr. Garza.
Thank you.